The dog is so familiar that it can be easy to forget how extraordinary it is. In homes, farms, cities, forests, airports, hospitals, and military bases, dogs live beside humans in ways no other animal does quite as widely. They can be tiny enough to fit in a bag or large enough to pull a sled. They can guard property, guide a blind person, detect hidden substances, comfort patients, herd livestock, or simply sleep at someone's feet. Scientifically, the domestic dog is known as Canis familiaris, or sometimes Canis lupus familiaris, reflecting its close relationship to wolves. But a dog is not just a wolf living indoors. It is the result of thousands of years of shared history with humans, shaped by selection, adaptation, and communication. To understand dogs, we have to look at their wild ancestry, their transformation into companions, and the unique bond that made them one of the most influential animals in human society. Dogs are domesticated descendants of ancient wolves, though they are not descended directly from the modern gray wolf in the simple way people sometimes imagine. Instead, dogs and modern gray wolves share a common ancestor. Somewhere deep in the late Pleistocene, long before cities, writing, or agriculture, some wolf-like canids began living closer to human groups. These humans were hunter-gatherers, moving through landscapes, following food sources, and leaving behind scraps that would have attracted bold scavengers. Over time, the animals that tolerated humans best may have gained a survival advantage. Less fearful, less aggressive individuals could feed near camps, reproduce, and pass on traits that made them better suited to life around people. This was not the creation of a pet overnight. It was a long process in which behavior, biology, and human preference slowly redirected a wild animal into a new evolutionary path. The timing of dog domestication is one of the most fascinating parts of their story. Dogs are widely considered the first species humans domesticated, with clear domestication occurring more than 14,000 years ago. That means dogs were living with people before the development of agriculture, before cattle, sheep, goats, or pigs became part of human life. Some genetic studies suggest the process may have begun even earlier, perhaps more than 25,000 years ago. This matters because it shows that the dog-human relationship did not start with farming. It began in a world of hunters, foragers, ice age climates, and small human communities. Before humans settled into agricultural villages, dogs may already have been helping with hunting, warning of danger, cleaning up food waste, and providing companionship. Their origin story is not just about domestication, it is about two social species learning to live together. One of the clearest signs of the dog's long association with people is hidden in its diet. Wolves and other wild canids are highly adapted to meat-heavy diets, but dogs developed a greater ability to thrive on starch-rich food. This adaptation likely reflects life near humans, especially as human diets changed over time. Even before farming, people processed plant foods, stored edible materials, and left behind a range of scraps. Later, with agriculture, starches became far more common in human settlements. Dogs that could digest these foods more efficiently would have had an advantage. This does not mean dogs became herbivores, but it does show that domestication reshaped them internally, not just externally. Their digestive abilities are part of the evidence that dogs evolved alongside us, eating what we ate, living where we lived, and adjusting to the ecological niche created by human society. As the relationship deepened, humans began selecting dogs for particular behaviors and abilities. Some dogs were valued because they could track prey, others because they could guard camps, pull loads, move livestock, or stay close as companions. Over generations, selective breeding emphasized traits that people found useful or desirable. This is why dog breeds today vary so dramatically in size, shape, coat, color, and temperament. A towering working dog and a tiny companion breed can look like completely different animals, yet they are both domestic dogs. Beneath that variety, dogs share a common anatomical foundation. Most have the same number of bones, apart from variation in the tail, and they possess powerful jaws containing around 42 teeth. Their bodies have been stretched, miniaturized, strengthened, softened, and specialized by human preference, creating the widest physical diversity of any domesticated animal. The dog's success is not only about appearance. It is also about senses. Dogs have a far stronger sense of smell than humans, and smell is central to how they understand the world. Where a person may see a street, a dog detects layers of information, other animals, food, territory markings, emotional states, and traces of movement. Their hearing is also superior to ours in important ways, allowing them to detect higher frequencies and subtle sounds. Their sight is useful, but compared with humans, dogs generally have lower visual acuity. In other words, the human world is often visual first, while the dog's world is scent and sound rich. This difference helps explain many dog behaviors that humans sometimes misunderstand. Sniffing is not a distraction from experience. For a dog, it is experience. It is reading the environment in a language built from scent. Dog communication is a full-body system. They use eye gaze, facial expressions, vocalizations, body posture, limb movement, and chemical signals. A wagging tail, for example, does not always mean the same thing in every situation. It must be interpreted with posture, speed, tension, ear position, and context. Dogs also communicate through barking, whining, growling, howling, and other sounds that can signal excitement, fear, warning, play, or distress. Chemical communication is especially important. Dogs gather information through scents, pheromones, and taste, and they leave information behind as well. Territory marking through urination is one familiar example. Dogs are especially likely to mark when entering a new environment because scent marks help establish presence and gather social information. To humans, this behavior can seem random. To dogs, it is part of a sophisticated information network. What makes dogs truly unusual is not simply that they communicate with each other, but that they communicate so effectively with humans. Over millennia, dogs have adapted to human behavior in ways that many other animals have not. They can follow pointing gestures, respond to tone of voice, read emotional cues, and use eye contact in socially meaningful ways. This does not mean dogs understand language exactly as humans do, but they are highly responsive to human signals. In many cases, they appear motivated to cooperate. This ability may have been favored from the earliest stages of domestication, because dogs that paid attention to humans could gain food, protection, and partnership. The result is an animal that can bridge species boundaries. A dog can look at a person, interpret intention, and adjust its behavior in ways that feel deeply personal. Because of that communication and adaptability, dogs have taken on an enormous range of roles. Historically, they helped humans hunt by tracking, flushing, retrieving, or holding prey. In pastoral societies, they became herders, moving sheep, cattle, and other livestock with speed and precision. In colder regions, they pulled sleds and transported loads. As protectors, they guarded homes, camps, and animals. In modern settings, dogs assist police and military teams, searching for explosives, drugs, missing people, or evidence. Service dogs help disabled people navigate daily life, while therapy dogs provide comfort in hospitals, schools, and care facilities. These roles may look very different, but they share a foundation. Dogs can be trained to work with human goals while using their own senses, bodies, and social intelligence. Their usefulness comes from cooperation, not machinery. The phrase "man's best friend" can sound sentimental, but it points to a real social phenomenon. The human-canine bond has been studied frequently because dogs influence human behavior, emotion, and daily life. Many people treat dogs as family members, not merely property or tools. Dogs can reduce loneliness, encourage routines, increase physical activity, and provide a sense of security. They also create social connections between people, whether through neighborhoods, parks, training groups, or online communities. At the same time, the bond is not one-sided. Dogs depend on humans for food, shelter, medical care, and social stability. Domestication made them exceptionally suited to living with us, but it also made responsible human care essential. The closeness of the relationship is powerful precisely because it involves mutual adaptation. Humans shaped dogs, and dogs changed human society in return. Today, dogs are found across the world in enormous numbers. The global dog population is estimated at around 700 million to 1 billion. But their lives differ greatly depending on where they are born. In wealthy developed countries, many dogs live as pets, often receiving veterinary care, specialized food, grooming, and legal protection. In the United States, the dog is the most popular pet, present in roughly 34 to 40% of households. But developed countries account for only about 1/5 of the world's dogs. A much larger share live in developing countries, often as street, village, feral, or free-ranging dogs. These dogs may interact with humans but not belong to a single household in the same way. Understanding dogs globally means looking beyond the image of the pampered pet and recognizing the many forms of dog-human coexistence. The story of the dog is a story of evolution meeting culture. From wolf-like ancestors to ancient camp followers, from hunting partners to household companions, dogs became the first domesticated species and one of humanity's most widespread animal partners. Their bodies changed, their diets adapted, their behaviors diversified, and their ability to read humans became one of their defining traits. They are powerful predators by ancestry, social collaborators by nature, and cultural companions by history. Whether guiding a person across a busy street, detecting a scent no human could notice, guarding livestock, or simply resting beside a family, dogs occupy a unique place between the natural world and human society. Their success comes from more than loyalty. It comes from thousands of years of shared survival, communication, selection, and trust, a partnership older than agriculture and still evolving today. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.